Now, one of his biggest passion is teaching people how they can achieve the unachievable, going for that something that you deem impossible in your life. And I've had the fortune of working with Mr. Amithe before in the past, as well as learning from him and for being here for one of his earliest sessions as well. So it is once again a pleasure to invite him, but I'd rather give you all an introduction to his amazing career in the past. So he is, of course, a multifaceted leader and co-founder of Quantum Leap Private Limited. He's an executive coach, corporate trainer, as well as a dynamic advocate for youth entrepreneurship, especially with his sons, who I believe one of them is one of the youngest entrepreneur, is the youngest entrepreneur in Sri Lanka. And it's all thanks to Mr. Gamage's great handling and leadership on that. He helps empower the CEOs and almost the best individuals in Sri Lanka, and he helps them even enhance their digital presence and improve their communication skills. He's also the host of Sri Lanka's first LinkedIn live talk show, and called Cinnamon Chat with Amitha. I believe any of you who are on LinkedIn, you guys can go check it out. Please do give it a follow. It's going to be something amazing. And of course, without any further ado, Mr. Amitha, this stage is yours. Help our young IEEE innovators find out their true potential today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the organizing committee and those who decided to eventually invite me for this session. And I participate in these kind of events anyway, and to especially to help the youngsters. It's our duty to make sure that, they learn from our experience so that they don't have to go through all the hardships that we have gone through. But, just like reading a book, it's a great event, I guess, of bringing people like me and then getting them to share. It's even better than reading a book because you can't question a book. Here you probably will have a few questions at the Q&A session as well. So I started my life in Haputale. I was born in Haputale and then schooled in Haputale. Then of course I went to Haputale Dhammananda College. After that I went to Vialua Central College. That's in Kandakatiya, and then I went to Badula Central College. Of course, I couldn't do my A levels. I mean, complete my A levels because of the hardship that I was facing. Because my father died when I was 13 years old, so I took the burden of the family, and then was helping my other three siblings over the years. And then eventually, in the latter part of my life, I decided, okay, I'm gonna move forward with some education. So I followed the marketing qualification and then some IT qualification. And then, of course, I did my master's. And then in terms of learning, it's a never ending process for me. For an example, on in the middle of this month, I'll be in Dubai, uh, participating myself in a big training program as a participant. I'll be uh, I'll be getting qualified and getting trained by some UK based organization, so that so 2-3 months ago again I was in Dubai, getting myself trained and getting a certification as a Lego series play facilitator. And then I was actually having a discussion with a client in Africa. And then they were talking to me like, Amita, why don't we plan some trainings here, some workshops here in Africa in 2025? And I was thinking, oh my God, I didn't plan to go to Africa, but I may go to Africa because I got myself certified, trained, I learned. So when it comes to learning, it's a never ending journey. And talking about my career, I started as someone who is working in a shop in Colombo, because I told you I had to face the real life because my father was not there. And then, of course, I chose sales first. And then, of course, I got into professional sales and then sales and marketing. And then, of course, I was working in the corporate world for 20 years before I decided, okay, it's time that I leave and then I start something on my own. That's how I went out and I started my consultancy and training organization. Along the way, I also became a certified professional coach from International Association of Coaching. So, um, so in terms of businesses, I have, what can I say? I have a consultancy firm where we do some consultancy with another bunch of consultants whenever we have work. And then I do training as a corporate trainer in Sri Lanka and in Australia, even though I don't travel to Australia. And then in the Middle East, I travel to Dubai every month and I spend around, 2 weeks in Dubai working with my clients when it comes to coaching and consultancy, of course, a little bit of training as well. For last 12 months, I have been to Dubai 12 times, going there every month. And how come that I get all these opportunities? It's because of the learnings that I have, the experience and the qualifications, of course, and then open to take risks, challenges. So that's a little bit about me. Of course, I got married to a professional marketer, my wife, and then I have two kids. One is in the first year, he's actually studying computer science. And then my younger son is 15 years old and he's studying in an international school. And then uh, as I was introduced in, he's also an entrepreneur. He has an academy to teach entrepreneurship. And then I also work for him in an organization where he found the organization. The name of the organization is Masspreneurs, and I work for him as a chief operating officer. He's the founder and the CEO. My elder son also is an entrepreneur. Of course, nobody is working under him, but then he has few freelancers working for him for his digital marketing work while being a university student. He's also earning money. I think we all should earn money, whether you are a school kid or whether you are a university student, doesn't matter. We all have skills, we all have opportunities to earn some money, spend, save, invest, and then have at early stages to have uh, financial literacy, where the country is today, partially because the adults are illiterate when it comes to financial literacy. So just uh, just some input. So that's basically about me. And then talking about leadership, I mean, everybody's this entire discussion is about leadership. So you need to take something from me. The first thing that you need to do is to start working as a leader by yourself. Before you even think about leading others, you have to start leading yourself. So one of the most successful thing that I have done is leading myself. If I can't lead myself, how can I lead the others? So I'm a fan when it comes to the books and videos and whatnot, whatever the material is available on personal leadership. And then I could very strongly recommend Robin Sharma as someone that you should follow and take advice when it comes to personal leadership. There are many books written about, you leading a group, leading an organization, leading a department, leading your pack, leading your family. But then not many materials are available when it comes to leading yourself. And that's why I recommend Robin Sharma, because if you are unable to lead yourself, how can you lead others? So to become a leader, start leading yourself. So when I say start leading, it start with everything. Whether you have a vision for yourself, you might say, okay, I'm an undergraduate and I'm anyway becoming an engineer at the end of the fourth year. So you can't say that's your vision. You are already in that path. Whether you like it or not, you are going to become an engineer. That's not your vision. That's part of your life. It's like, okay, I'm going to have dinner tomorrow night. That can't be my vision. It's so automatic. But then beyond you becoming an engineer, there are thousands of engineers, right? I was watching some videos today of how how Elon Musk, did all what he has been doing in the last few days, few weeks, few months, you know, working with so much of engineers. All these are engineering marvels which have changed the way the world is operating. So instead of just becoming an engineer, what's your vision for yourself? It's high time that you have to have a vision. Yeah. And then the second one is the consistency. For an example, during COVID, I started my LinkedIn Live uh, videos. And when LinkedIn originally rolled out the feature, I got it in Sri Lanka. And then not many were interested. So I ran it for, I think, probably 1.5 years. And close to 2 years, I ran it. That's consistency. Every week on Thursday night, I had to stop it because I started traveling to Dubai about a year ago. I'm actually planning to revamp my LinkedIn Live. That's consistency. There are a lot of people whom I meet. Sometimes they say, "Hey, Amithe, I'm planning to start a YouTube channel." You know what I tell them? Wow, fantastic. Can you post 54 videos, one video a week, continuously? One video a week. Yeah, yeah, of course. That's very simple. And then after about a month, the fellow's channel goes missing. And then I meet them sometimes on the road, some places. Then I ask, hey, what happened to your channel? I saw only 5 videos. Yeah, nobody's coming. Nobody's interested in my video. So I just gave it up. So how can you give up like this? That? How can you decide just 5 videos will make a change? You just can't do that. So, uh, for an example, on LinkedIn, I have around 45,000 connections. One reason is I post daily. Every day I post. So I was checking one of the posts that I posted today. Very strangely, I had only one like. One fellow has come and reacted. My post was about 10 reasons why the world loves Arugambe. But it has received only one. Like, so I was investigating, like I was thinking why. Maybe the picture was taken from a AI it was an AI generated image. So I was thinking why, right? I might even delete it and then redo it tomorrow morning with a different picture. I actually couldn't find, if you ask me why I used the AI generated picture, because I couldn't find, I haven't been to Arugambe, so I don't have a picture. Then I had to download something from the internet, which I don't have the right. I don't have the copyright. So without copyright, I shouldn't be downloading a picture from somebody and, without the permission. Uh, I I don't have this habit of where you say photo credit to internet or the original photographer. Who is the original photographer? We don't know. So consistency is one thing that I can credit myself to. And then during COVID again, uh, I was doing about another 100 webinars completely free of charge for some of the top corporates who have been helping me before COVID. Like they were giving me business, and then the COVID hit, and nobody could do business. Then I talked to them and said, "Hey, look, I would like to help you. I would run a webinar. You're covering your entire organization." They said, "We don't have the technology." I said, "No, you have. Check. Other countries are already doing it, but we don't have the budgets." I said, "Come on, I don't want your money. You have been helping me. I think it's time that I help you." So today, some of those organizations that I help are helping me in giving me various assignments, projects, for a fee. So consistency, very, very important. You have to show up. You are there. Without consistency, you just try it for 1 month, try it for 2 weeks. For an example, I'm not only talking about video, audio. I mean, I heard my wife saying my elder son on this poe day, "Hey, it's poe day. Why don't you sleep till late?" Because he was getting ready to go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. He said, "No, I'm going to the gym not because that I have to go to the gym today. If not, I will lose my discipline, my consistency. So I'm testing myself." I was so happy. I was seeing myself in him. I was thinking, wow, fantastic. At that age, he's 20. He's talking about consistency. For you to have consistency, you got to have discipline. Now, after this, I have to do, 40 minutes of walking on my treadmill, just like I did it yesterday. Because these days with the rain, sometimes, you can't go out and do much. So I have to do my exercise at home. That's discipline. That's consistency. How can you achieve results? And then, of course, if I'm on the treadmill for 40 minutes, I would be listening to a YouTube video or I would be listening to a podcast. That's again learning plus consistently doing whatever that will bring me results. Now, I had a very hard day today. I had to do a lot of work. There was some furniture at the academy where my younger son and myself were there, and there was one assistant that was missing, so I had to carry some of the tables with the other fellow. And then there's some construction work, some renovation work going on at home. Furniture is all over, do some cleaning. Yeah, and then, I'm tired today. And then here, this webinar, I was supposed to do this from Dubai, but then my travel plans got delayed. I would be flying in a few days' time. And then I have to do my exercises. That's consistency, my friend. Because before I lead someone else, I have to lead myself. That's consistency. How many times you give up on things, halfway down the line? I mean, one of the top business leaders that I follow is Gary Vaynerchuk. He probably has the largest digital marketing agency in the world. And then around 2,500 people working for him. And he has offices around the world. And then uh, long years back, probably, a decade back, he was going live on YouTube. His father had a wine store. So he was tasting wine and doing lives on YouTube. And he was saying, not a dog was watching his live YouTube wine show, but he was consistent. He did it for over a year. I mean, what happened? Today, he has a digital marketing agency. His father is anyway running his wine store. It ended up, he ended up becoming someone totally different because he learned a lot when he did that YouTube live. So many things could happen to you when you have consistency and discipline in terms of your leadership. And then, I also like to do things differently. I would like to, not follow the crowd. I want to be unique. For an example, I'm a vegetarian, I'm an non-alcoholic. That I decided, when I was in the school, I decided, no, I'm not going to even try a beer. No, we didn't have beer like today available freely, but I always wanted to do something different. Mm. Even my coaching qualification, I wanted to get myself certified from a different coaching organization. The kind of reads I read, the kind of books that I read, or when everybody is trying to be someone on Facebook, I wanted to be someone on LinkedIn, so not following the crowd. I'm not saying that Facebook is bad or Instagram is bad, but you could be in a different niche. So that's one way of, challenging yourself. Can I do this? Can I do it? Okay, I'm going to do it. And then, as I told you, I'm always learning. I mean, I was at I was at the bookstores. I have a book here. See, this is uh, as a shoemaker. This is Joe Foster, who built Reebok shoe brand in the world. So I went and bought this book. Of course, I brought many, many, many books, but then I'm going to do a review about this book. I just have so many books in front of me. Never stop learning if you want to lead. That's very, very important. And then, of course, reading books, podcast, YouTube videos, you name it. Today, it's so easy. And then one of the most important things for you to become a leader, being emotionally intelligent. Know your emotions. That's something that I know. I know when I'm angry. I know when I'm anxious. I know when I'm confused. And I know that I may respond while I'm being angry or confused or excited, and then I may show a behavior that is not appropriate to the crowd or to the audience. And also, I can very well understand the emotions of the others. Sometimes I know someone would be not providing me a good service. Let's say I'm at a bookstore, I'm at a restaurant, and I could actually respond in a way where the service provider, maybe the cashier, maybe the one who is serving food, could be more upset than me because of the comment that I make, the feedback that I give. Of course, if someone's service is not good, I would always tell the person who is giving me the service. If the service is great, of course, I'll tell the person, but I'll take that to my social media and tell the world, look, I received a fantastic service from that organization. If the service is bad, I will not go and tell it on Facebook or in other social media channels. I would rather tell the business owner, the service provider, the cashier, or whoever is serving me. I'm sorry, I'm not so happy about the service that you give, but this is my feedback. Your toilet is not clean enough, your food is not tasty. You work on it. I would like to see that your business is thriving. Now, for you to do that, you got to be emotionally intelligent. Especially if you are moving into a leadership position, you will have a lot of people around you. You'll have to guide them, help them. You'll have to set the direction of the organization. And if you are not emotionally intelligent, especially in today's world, where good old days you could demand and say, hey, look, you have to come to work tomorrow, or else you lose your job. But today with Gen Z, Gen Y, or maybe, Gen Alpha, the way you manage them is completely different. They are very open to come and talk to you. So you have to build open and honest culture in your organization. Now, me as a leadership coach, I also work with organizations to set their culture or change their culture or, help them manage and navigate the culture. Because, as I told you, when they recruit, this new generational employees are joining organizations. So sometimes the elderly or Gen X or Gen Y managers are unable to cope up because they haven't studied or they haven't observed the the new generations. It's always the case that the earlier generation would blame the new generation. But in my case, since I am aware of my emotions all the time, it is easy for me to work with everybody. So with my younger son who is 15, I work with kids because uh, as much as he runs his academy, I also have to work with kids, different ages. So I have to go to that level of thinking and understanding and work. Teenagers. I have two teenagers at home, and then I had to work with teenagers. I had to work with CXOs, CIOs, CEOs. I had to work with middle managers in the lines of my work as a coach, consultant, corporate trainer. So if I don't have that empathy, if I don't have that understanding of the emotions of the other people, what they are going through, it'll be difficult for me to, work as a leader. So you, as a leader or aspiring leader who would be leading a large group soon, you have to be emotionally intelligent. One thing is you have to read and you have to understand, you have to study. What the hell is this emotional intelligence? How do I apply it? Knowledge is not good enough. You can apply your emotional intelligence with your mother, with your sister, with your brother, with your dad, with your colleagues. If you can be emotionally intelligent at home, you could be pretty well emotionally intelligent at office, in the workplace, in your university, in your school. It's so easy. So this is more about learning about yourself. And then how do you respond? And then eventually, when you know about you more, you will find more about other people. It's easy to understand others. So that's one of the uh, top quality of a great leader, understanding himself or herself, and then eventually it'll lead you to understand the others. So, uh, and then talking about emotional intelligence, it's very important for you to understand, you know, uh, what kind of vibration you carry. With these emotions, some emotions are positive, so that your vibration is positive, and some emotions are negative, and your vibrations are negative, and you're going to attract a lot of negativity around it because your vibrational frequency is low. You're not going to meet people. I told you I got a call today from Africa, and I was wondering, in my business plan, I didn't have a plan to do some work. I really don't know whether I'll be in Africa or not, but then that call came. How did I get that call? I didn't have a business plan working towards Africa. I didn't do anything towards Africa. But my vibrations, my emotions are positive. I'm talking through my emotional intelligence. No, I'm intelligent enough to understand my emotions. So my emotions are positive. So my vibration is positive. So the right kind of things are happening around me. As a leader, it's very, very important. Do not become a leader where someone will have to come and talk to your personal assistant or your secretary. Hey, how is the mood of my boss today? You could be a CEO, you could be a department head, or you could be running your own organization. And then the secretary or the personal assistant would ask, why? No, I'm planning to take a short leave. I want to tell my boss. Oh, no, don't talk about short leaves today because he's in a bad mood. Do not become a leader where your mood is impacting the rest of the crowd. That means, your EQ is very, very low and you are carrying this negative vibration around. People are not happy to see your face. As part of your leadership, you could be talking about so many things. You can go on stage, go on newspapers, but then people could talk to, your internal organization could say, oh my God, he's on TV and he's all that. But, we can't talk to him because he has these emotional outbursts. Like, he gets angry easily. He's in a bad mood. What's the point? So that's very important as a leader. You know your emotions and the vibrations related to those emotions. You do not carry them around if they are negative or bad. So these are some of the lessons that you can learn from me. And of course, me becoming a coach and a consultant and a corporate trainer also helped me to understand better myself. So when I know more about myself, it is easy for me to understand the others. Yeah. And in terms of my career, I told you I was working in the corporate world for 20 years. I met some great bosses, great leaders who actually shaped me, to become who I am today. And then I also met some useless bosses. When I say useless, they're really useless. Like, they made your life miserable. But then you can't be meeting all the great people in your life. You will meet both types of leaders. What did I do? I don't want to become a leader who make others' lives miserable. That's the lesson I learned. So I had this one of the bosses, one of my managers, who always wanted to thrive, who wanted to become someone great. So one day I checked his visiting card, and then I know he was qualified. He had his MBA, and then he had his first degree, and then so many other diplomas. So I asked him, none of them are on your visiting card. He said, Machang, I have passed that era. I don't want them on my visiting card. I was like, okay. I only had a diploma at that time, and that was in bold letters on my visiting card. In the next round of new visiting cards that I was getting printed in my corporate job, I told them to remove my qualification. It's up to you. But then these are some of the lessons that I learned from my leaders. And then this was one lesson. Of course, you can go to my LinkedIn profile and you can check everything that I have done, all these certifications and all that. But my visiting card, it just says co-founder Quantum Leap. That's all. Right. So I'm part of two organizations now. Quantum Leap Private Limited, which I formed long ago with my good friend. And of course, I'm the chief operating officer of the organization my son formed, that is Masspreneurs. He being a school kid, he can't be running the academy by himself all the time because he has to go to his music classes, his basketball classes, he is school. Of course, he runs the business as well. So I have to, be me and my wife both get involved. We will be start recruiting some people soon. So, uh, so talking about my corporate career, again, I have to talk about that particular boss or the senior manager, the general manager of mine. One day, uh, he called me, you know, how you talk to each other in the corporate world. Mehta waring. So I said, why boss? You are using my salary. I was like, I don't even know your salary. No, every time you have a problem, you come to me if the problem is not routine. I said, yeah, of course, you are my boss, so I have to get your approval. Now, hereafter, Machang, when you come to me, you bring two solutions, two options, and come to me. So I said, fine. Uh, then he was saying, if you don't have two options, don't come to me. So what happened was, over a period of time, now I want to go and ask something, so I walk up to his cubicle and then I come back. I sit down and I now wonder, okay, what could be those two answers for the problem that we are facing. So over a period of time, what happened was I was empowered, my creativity was working, and then I stopped going to him over a period of time. Only if it is a very critical issue, I used to go. So one day he called me, mate, then I went there and I asked him, yeah, boss, you are not using my salary anymore. I said, yeah, I am using my salary now. I said, great. Today, he's a top business owner, having multiple businesses and then, having his houses in multiple countries in the world. What I saw was like, in order to become a great leader, your job is to create more leaders, not micromanage things. So this is something that I learned during my corporate career. So even today, even at home, I tell my kids like, hey, why don't you do this and do it yourself? Or I may ask them like, what do you want to really do? Don't ask for my option. What are your options? Then we agree upon and do things like empower them, give them the freedom to do. Otherwise, I'll have to micromanage them every day. When am I going to go up? I can't go up if I'm a manager who is micromanaging because my wings are heavy because I'm holding on those heavy weights. I had to release them, let them go. Of course, I had to teach them, I had to train them, I had to coach them, I had to empower them, I had to trust them. And then I let them go. Let them do whatever they want, whatever is ideal to solve the problem at hand. And then you can climb up. That's a lesson that I can tell you, I can teach you. You know, be that person who is creating more leaders. That's the leader's job, is to create more leaders. And of course, I ask your organizing committee, okay, give me some questions which is relevant to you so that I can answer those, and then you will learn from me the most relevant one. So I have got some questions from the organizing committee. So it also asks about, what does success mean to you? For me, success is enabling more people to become successful. I was also listening to one of my former bosses, is one of the top person in the IT industry. He was saying, Machang, I want more people to leave my organization. I was like, seriously? I mean, no, Machang. My organization is growing at a certain speed. Let's say my organization is growing at the speed of 100. And then when it comes to senior people, maybe they are growing faster than 100. So in an organization where it is growing at the speed of 100, if someone is growing at 150, there's a limit that he can climb, he can grow. I think they should leave. I'm more than happy that they leave and they go to another organization where they can actually uh, grow in that speed. I was like, at that time, I didn't realize it, honestly, because I was working. And then I left and then I started my own organization. Then I was thinking, how true is it? If the organization is going at a very particular speed, it's okay people leaving and finding better opportunities. Yeah? I mean, that's what Richard Branson said. Like, train them so well so that they will do a great job, and pay them so well. After the training, they are not going to leave your place. You know, otherwise the question is like, what if you don't train them, and what if they stay back? So it's okay. You train your people, develop your people as a leader. If they go, fine, let them go. There are better opportunities maybe in the market, but you will take another person, help them grow. But if they outgrow your organization, it's okay. They have to find that place and go. Sometimes, people go abroad, go for greener pastures. It's okay. But do your level best to train them, teach them, help them grow in your organization. People shouldn't be stagnate in one place. So as a leader, now I go to Dubai every month and I work with some organizations, and then that also include one or two US based organizations. And then I see the amount of effort, time, effort, and money they put in developing people, knowing that they might even leave. But then as long as those people staying in those organizations, they contribute to the growth of the organization, because organization also is looking after them. So build a culture where if you become a leader, the day you become a leader, build a culture where people will grow. Help them. They will eventually help the organization to grow. And then looking at I'm checking some of the questions that you have asked already. Uh, Success is, for me, forever. It has not changed. Helping others to grow more. Then I consider myself, okay, I'm successful. And then who is a person who has been a mentor or someone influential in your career, and what do you learn from them? I gave you so many learnings that I have learned from others in the industry. And I mean, of course, even today, there are some people that I associate, some senior people whom I consider them as my mentors, whom I have direct access. I can always call them, send them a message. Apart from that, I learned from so many other people. I consider them as my mentors, like maybe Gary Vaynerchuk, Richard Branson. Why? They always create content around what they do based on their massive amount of experience in running organizations, working with people. They're like mentors, like, they come and talk. Their videos are all over, their books are all over. Why not you just go and read? You don't have to do the same mistake what they have done. So I have, you know, s- the kind of things that they have shared with the world has really helped me personally change some of my business decisions. Personally, to take some business decision, take risk, because I listen to them, I talk to them. When I say talk to them, in the sense, I don't talk to them personally. I get involved in some of the discussions, feedbacks, read those books. Very, very important. Of course, how do you intend to balance work-life balance considering the high demand of your job? I mean, especially during my corporate world, it was such a difficult thing, really difficult. I would say I had stress. Even though I knew how to manage stress, I still had stress because sometimes the corporate world is so demanding. Work-life balance is really, really difficult, even though you somehow managed it. I know I used to manage it, and I was there for my kids. I used to, they read a lot of books, even today. How? Because every day night I spend time with them, and they go to the bed by listening to some of my stories, or I read a book to them. And go on trips with that limited time. Work with your kids meaningfully. You know, uh, maybe ride bicycles with them, play basketball or play badminton with them. Like, this is work-life balance. If your wife is cooking, help her. Be in the kitchen. Have a cup of tea. It's okay. Have a good conversation with her. My wife was also working, so it was not easy. Work-life balance was like, it was really, really difficult, but then we managed. You know, and but today work-life balance, yeah, again it's difficult, but then you have to somehow balance it. Like, sometimes I work uh, lay around 4:30 in the morning because I have Australian clients. Sometimes the first meeting at 4:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I work with US clients, so I have to work in the night. My meetings are in the middle of the night, maybe 10, 11, 12. That's part of the growth, part of the business. Like, but I'm not going to miss my exercise. I'm not going to miss the time that I spend with my kids. Balancing work-life balance, you have to be very thoughtful. You have to think about it. You have to plan. It doesn't naturally come. Okay, I have a natural work-life balance. No, you have to put an effort. Let's say, how am I planning my next week? Right? So talking about planning, uh, if something happens to Google servers, my life will be finished because my entire life is on my Google Calendar. Sometimes my wife would ask, okay, what would you do tomorrow? I would ask her, would you check my calendar? Because I don't want to keep, my head is not my calendar. You have to have a electronic calendar planning your day. And then I learn another lesson from Bill Gates. Good old days, my calendar is virtually full. So until he met Warren Buffett, he thought having a fully booked calendar is success. I mean, I thought the same way. Then, then you have to have these empty blocks where you don't have any work. You tell the world that you are working, but then you don't have work. That's your me time. You also have to have your me time. Me reading a book is me time, yeah, sure. But then you should also have time like entirely for you. Say, for an example, my meditation time. I meditate because my mental calmness is very, very important as a leader. I meditate. People, people think only religious people, and of course I'm religious, but then why I meditate is not for religious reason. Of course, religion helped me understand meditation, of course. But if you are not a person who is both my kids are meditating. My wife meditates. Most of my coaching clients meditate, at least after they meet me. I push them to meditate. It has to be part of your life. That's your work-life balance. So then you will not complain about stress because you are a person who meditates 10 minutes every day. That'll change your life. Try. But then if you don't have consistency, if you don't have a plan, if you don't plan your work, if you don't plan your day, Sunday, next month, if you don't know what's happening next month, let's say if you don't know what's happening to you on the 10th of November, I think there's something wrong. You should know what exactly you would be doing on the 10th by now, at least by now. Yeah. So, mm, okay, I'm checking what else I do have to talk about, in becoming a great leader. So, what would you say to someone looking to take on a leadership role? That's also another point here. Apart from whatever I have told you, you have to be concerned about the well being of the others. That's true leadership. Honestly, in the corporate world, it's rare. They are behind most of the time. Your leaders will be running behind numbers, profitability, market share, various other things. Truly caring for others is missing. That could be your differentiate. Truly, truly caring for others, not for the sake of, I mean, you can be taking care of others and then you can create a video and then you can post. No, I'm not talking about, you do something and create a video. No, being truly, truly taking care of the people who is working for your organization. That's something rare in today's world. So if you could be someone who could be really, really taking care of your people, uh, you will be an extraordinary leader because that's so rare in today's world. I'm not saying every leader is bad or anything like that, but then most of the time you are commercially driven. Yeah, you have to be profit oriented. Otherwise, anyway, you will close the business and then people will have to find jobs and go. But truly taking care of, at least after COVID-19, I think people have learned that lesson about truly taking care of. Not not because, and I run some of these workshops like, coaching skills for managers, coaching skills for leaders. And one of the top things that we discuss, how to listen to others. It is not about listening to others when they want to talk to you. No, sometimes it's about you going and talking to them and then listening. Hey man, are you all right? What's going on in your life these days? I saw you were working till late or you were getting late to come. Is everything all right? Is there anything that we could do to help? Sometimes you don't have to do anything. Genuinely speaking to someone like that, with that empathy, it can makes a huge, it can makes a huge difference. You could be a true leader in that basis. I recommend you watch some of the videos of Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is, of course, a leadership guru, but Gary Vaynerchuk is a commercial leader, business leader. He runs a big organization, but Is one of the most empathetic leader that, because I'm sure there are other empathetic leaders, but then he comes and talks about more than digital marketing. He comes and talks about how he is running his organization. He has a person who is above the CEO, is the chief heart officer, CHO. Her job is to listen to people in that organization. CEO is running the business, and CEO is reporting to the founder, that is Gary Vaynerchuk. But Gary has another person called chief heart officer, and her job is to make sure that everybody's story is heard. 2,500 large organization. Who would do that? Especially when the organization is large. So these are the trends today. And there are about handful of organizations, around 10 organizations, where there is a chief heart officer, where their job is to listen to the people. It's not the HR. Human resource department is there doing a separate job. So it's about their well-being. It's about their happiness. Chief Happiness Officer, CHO, Chief Happiness Officer. What do you do to make or keep people happy? So you have to, if you want to become a great leader, start learning from other leaders, study leadership from books, videos. People come and talk about how they run their organization. This is a great way. You are now talking to me and other leaders that you have brought in so that they tell their story. Now, in my case, I work with so many other leaders, top CEOs, not only in Sri Lanka, in other parts of the world. And they are leaders in their respective jobs. And they come to me with their maybe leadership challenges, because they can't go and tell the board, look, I have this problem because the board has appointed you as the chief executive officer. And you can't go home and tell your wife all these challenges because the wife's job is something else. And then the CXO, CEO cannot go and tell their problems or challenges to the subordinates because they are waiting to tell their problems to you. So you need a leadership buddy, and then me as an executive coach. That's what I do. Not that I listen to their problems, but then I help them to, realize their true potential, and then so that they could help more people. So I think it's about 7:58, 2 minutes to go. So maybe I would wrap up my session like this and then hand it over to the organizing committee. So if they have any questions, that I can look at them.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Hamilton. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. A rather insightful session here for everybody out there. So, we'd like to. I understand there is a time restraint, but Mr. Amithe, if you would like, we'd like to open it up for the audience to ask if you guys have any questions you'd like to ask for Mr. Amithe about your leadership or any other personal matter you might. And if you don't want to ask him directly, you can send over the message to a member of the organizing committee and we will ask it for you. So session's open now to anybody. Please make sure you click the raise hand option and I will call out your name and then you can ask a question from Mr. Hamilton. All right, so we have one person. Okay, Miss Manodya. You can ask your question.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Amitha. Thank you for
Good evening.
thank you for having, so thank you for joining the session. My question is, like, there's a debatable fact that that whether when you are hiring people, is it okay to hire your close friends? Some people say it's good, some people say it's bad, some people say okay that like supported my organization and my business a lot, but some people say at the end of the day I even lost the friendship. So what's your opinion on that?
I have lost friends. They have become partners and then we have lost the friendship because we never understood each other's responsibilities and the scope of work written on a piece of paper before partnering together. So it's very important. It's okay, you can hire, but then you have to agree on the scope, responsibilities, job roles, of course, the compensation, everything has to be pre-agreed. You can't figure them out as you are moving on. Okay, no, we'll figure it out when it is necessary. That will be too late. It's perfectly all right to hire a friend, provided you both agree, have an open and honest conversation about everything and put them in paper. If not, don't hire. You're about to lose your friend. That's my advice. Happened to me.
Thank you, sir.
I should have known.
Thank you so much.
Manoj, you for rather than there, and of course, quite a tough one to answer that. So, if anybody else has any other questions that they'd like to ask, again, I would like to remind you to make sure you click the raise hand option. And with that, I will call out your names and then you can ask your question. So, anyone else? Okay, I don't believe we have anybody else asking, but we do have a question coming in from the audience here. It says, okay, here's a question, sir. It says, is working, in your experience, working overtime, is it important for overreaching success? Um, like, is there a better approach to the balancing of the work-life balance thing? Or is overworking or like taking that overtime to put yourself in to maybe your career or your business, is that the more
Mm,
suitable?
yeah, so it's like this. Some people are driven towards goals, right? I'm 54 years old, but I'm so much driven to help others and, achieve my other goals, to make sure my kids do better. And then I work hard because I have goals. So if you don't have those, and if you are so happy in your life, if you are content, you are happy with the money that you are getting, don't ruin your life. Probably you are much more successful than many people out there because already you are happy. But sometimes, in order to achieve higher goals, you have to sacrifice your time, your family time. But then you can also buy time. I would like to ask the audience. I have 24 hours, but if I want, I can have 48 hours. Can anybody tell me? Oh, I'm not going to tell today. I'm going to keep it with you. Let it burn in your head. People say I have only 24 hours. So no, if I want, I can have 48 hours for a day. How do I do that?
Uh, I don't
Audience,
know.
I
I
would
don't
like
know,
to
but
ask you a question. Now you are asking me questions. So let me ask you a question. How do you double your time?
that has to be one really strong coffee.
You can. People say I don't have time. No, you can have more time. Let's say in my case, I am I am editing a video. I get an editor. I have 2 hours of free time. That editor will do my work. But for me to come to that time, that level where I pay an editor, I had to first work hard. Come to a certain financial position where I can pay an editor. I don't have to wash my clothes. I can buy a washing machine. Or I can go and put it in a laundry. But then I have to have money to put it to laundry. First, I'll have to wash my clothes. Sacrifice, and then I come to a position where I don't have to wash my clothes again. I don't have to dry them. I don't have to iron them. I just drop it in the laundry and they will even deliver. I mean, look at some of the work that you do. You cook, you Uber, or you go to a five-star hotel. You iron. Why do you have to iron? Put it in the laundry so that you can free up all this time. You can have your complete 24 hours, but for you to come to that place, first you may have to sacrifice and work little harder, and then you come to that time, that place.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. That's quite a detailed answer for that question, but I understand. So for whoever asked that question from us, I believe you took that advice from Mr. Amithe. It's uh, I'd like to add to that. I believe it's something to do with the timing. You start off by giving in your 100%, and then how you save up on that time is by delegating 10%, 10%, 10% of what was once your 100% to other people, so that once at the end of it, you're more the freedom with your position as you develop yourself. So personal
One of the
development.
challenge that we have is today, even though at the school we write essays like Kale Ranna Samana, Kale Ranna Vati, we write essays. Okay, I would like to ask this question from the audience, okay? Everybody has to answer in the audience. Everybody has to answer in the chat box. It's a must. I want to borrow 1 hour of your time. Imagine there is a trading system where I can borrow. What would be your 1 hour? I would like to pay and take that 1 hour so that you will have only 23 hours because Amitha has taken 1 hour. Let's say everybody has an opportunity of selling 1 hour per day. That's all you can sell. I want everybody to put an answer in the chat box. I'm going to pay you and buy 1 hour.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Amita has given us a question over there. You can put it into the chat box and let us know.
Let's see
What
their
will you do for
leadership.
your 1 hour?
Let's see whether their leadership is there now, whether they are ready to answer.
So here you
Um,
go. Take your.
no,
Okay, somebody
my
has put a timestamp,
not timestamp. I want the
and
rupee
somebody
value.
has said asked how much you're going to pay them. But no, what Sarah's asking, I believe, is a skill. What can you offer? Not how much you're going to get paid for it as of now,
No, no,
but
no, no.
what
I'm
can you
asking
offer?
exactly. I need 1 hour of your time. Let's say there's a trading system where I can give 1 hour, but I have to buy that 1 hour, right? I have to pay. You can't come and say how much you gonna pay. No, I would rather like to take it free, but I don't think you have any free hours available. I want your price tag. For that, you should know how much is your 1 hour. I know my 1 hour. Because when coaching clients are coming, I tell them, okay, I'll spend 1 hour with you. This is my US dollar price. See, only two people have answered.
Okay,
They don't need,
somebody's
yeah,
sending a timestamp again, 11 to 12 p.m.
no. First, you have to, my question is, let's say there's a trading system where you can sell 1 hour every day. So maximum you can sell 365 hours for a year because it's your time. So you put it on sale on a trading system with a price tag. My 1 hour is this, and you get money. How much would you sell your 1 hour to Amithe Gamage?
500 bucks.
So we have answer $500.
Oh, wait, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. My
That
bad.
depends on the time duration. Duration is 1 hour. And the task, but with my skill set, it's 5,000 per hour. Okay. 70,000. Okay. 70,000. You shouldn't be attending the university. because you're already getting 70,000 rupees, your value. So you work 10 hours a day, you are getting 700,000 for a day. And you work 20 days, you are getting 1.4 million rupees a month. I can lend you 1 hour for my time for $15. Ah, nice. $15, 5,000. These are reasonable answers. That means for those two who said 5,000 and $15, you have a rough idea about how much is your 1 hour. Okay. Do we have time? Like, can I spend another 5-10 minutes?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay. So I'll give you an exercise. Okay. If you have a piece of paper, take it. If everybody is ready, okay, write this down. Someone is earning 50,000 rupees a month. This is your, the scholarship exam. Someone is earning 50,000 rupees a month. Okay. And he's working 25 days. What's his daily income? I want the answers to come in the chat box. Like 1 or 2 people can answer. Someone is making 50,000 rupees, but he's working for 25 days. What's his daily income? 2,000. Great. And then let's imagine that he's working 8 hours a day. What's his hourly income? 250. Great. Fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, he wants to watch a Hindi movie, which is 3 hours. Give me a name of a Hindi movie, which is 3 hours. Jagan? No. What's that movie? I can't remember the name. It's Shah Rukh Khan's movie. Start with J or something. Jawan. Thank you so much. So he wants to watch Jawan on a poor day. Considering that the movie is 3 hours, and he's watching it at home, what would be his cost to watch that movie? So Manodya, it's 750 according to Manodya. Great. So how does he watch the movie? He has to use electricity, right? Because he has to run a TV and a fan at least. So can you add some electricity amount for electricity? He has to use data. He's watching it in high definition. He also has to have a cup of tea and a biscuit made at home, the cup of tea. Can you add some price for those also? So what would be the cost of watching Jawan at home? Roughly. Yeah, I know it depends on the number of, and the amount of sugar, amount of milk powder that you add, the amount of biscuits you eat. $850 to $900. Okay. I think from Nahid, there's a beautiful answer here. Hourly income, that's 3 hours. He has to spend 3 hours and his 1 hour is costing him 250, even though it is a poor day. 750, electricity 100, data 50. I don't know what network he's on. Fan cost 30, cup of tea, biscuit 50. Total cost is 980. I just gave you a lesson on putting a price on your time. So if your 1 hour is 750, your target has to be, how do I double my 1 hour income? as an individual. One of the best ways to do is to start a business. There'll be so many people working, your 1 hour will become millions, right? If you ask Elon Musk or Bill Gates, what's the value of your 1 hour? They'll give you a completely different answer. But people don't value their time, so they just waste not knowing the rupee value of the time that they have wasted. So that's a the leadership lesson that I just gave you. So that's all from my side if you don't have any more questions. Organizing committee? Maybe we can wrap up.
Oh, well, I believe one finally detailed answer over there, but thank you again, sir, for that rather exercise. But again, ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Amithe has mentioned before, and constantly, your time is as valuable as anything and it's precious. So go out there and achieve all you can achieve. So thank you again, Mr. Amithe, for quite an insightful session. And I believe we've come towards the end. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to alert you that there is, of course, a feedback form that we'd like you all to fill out. I believe the feedback form has just been put right now into the chat box below. So please use the feedback form and tell us what you feel about Road to Ignite. And with that, Mr. Amit, thank you so much again for your time here and for sharing that insightful advice. I'm really honored to have this conversation with you again. With that, we will have to wrap up for the evening. But before we do so, I would like, ladies and gentlemen, everybody to stay. We have our final thank you speech given out by a member of the organizing committee. So now I would like to invite Ms. Nabila to hand out the thank you speech to this session. Also, I'd like to mention that this, Mr. Amithe, to take this token of appreciation. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us today and for giving that rather insightful session. Now over to Ms. Nabila Fahmy, the Vice Chair of Finance, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. What a truly inspiring session this has been. Before we wrap up, I'd like to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to those who made today possible. First and foremost, thank you to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Amithe Gamage, a remarkable coach and trusted advisor. Your journey as a leadership coach that you've shared today has been extremely insightful. Your dedication to helping leaders gain self-awareness and clarity in their career paths and achieve their unique goals is truly inspiring. Thank you for spending your evening with us today. To all the participants who joined us today, thank you for your presence and your constant engagement. Your enthusiasm is what fuels this event and keeps this event going. We are glad to have you as part of our community. A special thanks to our technical partner, the SLTC IEEE Student Branch, for their invaluable assistance in making this event successful. Your technical expertise ensured that everything ran seamlessly. I would also like to express my deep appreciation to the Let's Talk Organizing Committee for their hard work and dedication. Thank you for making today a wonderful one. As we look forward, I'm excited to announce that we will be continuing this journey of learning and inspiration next month, when we will meet yet another exceptional leader who will share their unique story of leadership and growth. Until then, thank you once again for joining, and I hope you've left this session half as motivated as I have. Have a wonderful day and see you guys next month.